Hello everybody, I'm back and I don't have a belly anymore, I have a baby, yay! Okay, wait, I do have a little bit of a belly, but I earned it, right? So today I just wanted to tell you guys what I've been doing. I wanted to talk about the whole experience of having a baby. I had a baby on October 25th and his name is Daxton and he's my little squishy and I love him. Oh, it's so awesome. So I did not have the baby by the 22nd. And I decided to go with October 25th because that is my mother's birthday, who passed away of cancer when I was younger. So that was a very special day for me and I was so glad to be able to have him on that particular day. Some moms like to go crazy with like a whole delivery plan of how everything's gonna go and who's gonna be there. I don't like to get too technical because I know that things do not go the way you plan them. And if you have it set in your mind that it's gonna go a certain way, it's not gonna go that way and it's gonna stress you out. So I try to go into having a baby with an open mind, thinking, okay, it might not go perfectly, but we're just gonna roll with the punches and see how everything goes. Before I had the baby, we had discussed having the children come in with us. And the reason for this is Shay was able to be there when Harley was born, his sister, and he loved it. He thought it was amazing. But I was a little nervous because I'd never experienced anything like that. So we decided to let the kids decide. And I was very open with them. I told them, this is how it's gonna go. I'm gonna be crying, I'm gonna be hurting, it's gonna be bloody, and this is where the baby comes out. And I told them everything. And the kids, I think, were very informed. Baby Todd was a little bit just, I don't know, yeah, no. I don't think she really fully understood what it was gonna be like. Originally, son Todd said that he had wanted to be there. But right up to the day, I could tell he was having reservations, so I sat him down and I said, honey, do you want to be in there with the baby? Because if you don't, I will not feel bad. Are you just wanting to be there because you think I will feel bad if you're not there? And he goes, yes. And I go, are you kind of scared to be there? Yes. I'm like, you don't have to then, is that okay? Yes. So he was not there for the delivery of the baby, and I'm totally okay with that. I was glad that he was open with me and that he wasn't traumatized. Princess Todd, Avia, was so excited. She could not be more excited to be there, and she was definitely going to be there no matter what. So Shay and I left our house at 3:30 a.m. and headed to the hospital. I was super nervous, and I don't care how many kids you have, there's always going to be that anxiety and nervousness. A little bit less than the first time because you know what to expect, but sometimes that's even worse because you know what's going to happen, and it's not always pleasant. So we got to the hospital, everything went well checking in, got hooked up to the Pitocin, laying in the bed. I was very pleased with my nurse who helped me. That is a big thing. If you are ever a nurse or you want to be a nurse, your mood and your attitude and demeanor through labor and delivery means everything to that person. So keep that in mind. So the mood in the room was just calm, peaceful. I was feeling good. I was starting to have contractions. Contractions are painful and not fun, but I've noticed that I sort of like internalize whenever I start to feel pain. I just sort of like pull in, like my brain is just like, okay, focus, breathe, relax, focus, breathe, relax, and that really helps me through the contractions. And when I had that first really painful one, I knew it was time to get the epidural, and I almost debated, should I do it? Maybe I'm just gonna go natural. And then when you're in that moment, it's like, nope. Just give me the epidural. I don't even care. I don't want to feel it. I don't want to feel it. I a little bit wish that I wouldn't have, just so I had that experience. But at the same time, when you're in that moment, it's worth it. I don't feel any shame or guilt in not feeling pain. So Kaylee walks in, Cecily walks in, and my two girls came in. And in that moment, it was right before I had the epidural. I was, in between contractions, and I saw their little faces, and I broke down because I was so grateful to have them there. I don't know what it was. It just felt like we're family and we need to share this together. So it meant a lot to me that my daughters, who may someday decide to have children and experience this same thing for themselves, were there to witness the birth of their little brother. Also, I feel like it's such an amazing experience if I can share it with my family and you guys. That's why we film it, because I feel like this is an experience that I want to share with you guys. It's not just like, oh, this is embarrassing, this is happening to me. It's like, whoa, I'm having a baby, this is cool, let's share it with people. That's kind of how I feel. Okay, back to the epidural. It was time. The anesthesiologist came with the needle to shoot up my back. Yay, that's fun. It sounds awful, and the actual process of it, like, it's not pleasant, but it is worth it to me. It was interesting having the girls there for this. They actually stepped out for a little bit while I got the epidural, so they didn't see the needle and everything, but then they came back in. I think Princess Todd, her attitude was she was very fascinated, like, with everything that was happening, but Baby Todd was more feeling, like, she's more like me, like, I'm feeling this right now. I can see that there's pain on your face, and I'm not sure if I like it. I'm not sure how to act, if I should try to comfort you. I could tell this was kind of going through her mind. She was a little bit like, whoa, this is intense, but she was good. So I got the epidural, and the weird thing was it doesn't always work exactly the same. The first epidural I ever had numbed the crap out of me. I couldn't feel anything. I couldn't even push because it was so numb. But the second two I had were perfect. I could still feel pressure, but not pain. This one was a little bit different. I got the epidural, and my left leg was more numb than my right, but the actual area that the baby comes out, TMI, sorry. If it is, whatever, this is how it goes. The actual area that the baby comes out was not completely numb. So I felt good. I could feel a lot of pressure, and I knew that it was getting closer. So the nurse checked me, and she said, you have regressed a lot. And I was already to like an 8 or a 9. So she called the doctor to come in, and this always happens. It's like I progress so quickly that everyone's like, whoa, okay, it's time. We gotta push now. And I knew that. I don't know why I didn't mention that to the nurse. Like, you really better call the doctor right when I get the epidural, but she didn't. So I got the epidural. Doctor's been called. I really wanted to push. I could feel that pressure. It's such a weird sensation, feeling that much. I was glad that it wasn't pain and that it was just pressure. I just felt like I have to push this baby out right now. Can I push? The poor nurse goes, please do not start pushing. This is above my pay grade. That's exactly what she said. And I had to laugh inside, but I was like, if I'm having a baby, I'm going to push this baby out, and you're gonna have to figure it out because the baby's coming, I can't hold it in. So I start the pushing process. And how you do that is when you feel like a really strong contraction come on, you try to help the contraction push the baby out by pushing as well. So contraction, pushing, started doing that. I feel like I only got a few pushes in before I started to feel the head coming out. And that's when I knew that epidural was not completely working, because I was like, I can feel it. I can feel it. I think in the vlog you can hear me say, like, in between one of the pushes, like, I can feel that. But at that point it was like, there's nothing we can do about it. You need to toughen up and just feel it and push your baby out, which is funny because that's the part I was afraid for, because with one of my past deliveries, I didn't have the epidural up until like 10 minutes before I had him. So I felt like I had felt all the hard contractions before, but I'd never felt the stretching. And I did. So at this point, I'm feeling it, pushing, breathing. Shay's like telling some funny jokes over here. And some people are like, how can you do that? Wouldn't that bother you? But it doesn't. It honestly makes me feel like calm, makes me feel comfortable. Like, okay, we're at home. This is how he is, and I love it. And I think that Princess Todd was over here, Baby Todd was up here. Like, they're all watching this. And I know that Baby Todd was, like, at this point, I'm like focused. I wasn't thinking about what they were thinking. But later when I went and watched the vlog, I could see the looks on their faces, and I was like, oh, that's so cool, like, to see the different experiences that they may have had. So I give that one last push, and his head comes out, and it's sort of a relief, but you always know that there's a few more pushing to go because you got to get the shoulders out next. So pushed again, shoulders come out, and I don't know if everybody knows this, but after you deliver the head and the shoulders and the baby just sort of comes out, then you have to deliver the placenta as well. So the baby comes out, and it's that crazy moment where all of a sudden there's another person in the room, and it's so, I can't even describe it. You just have to be there, and it's like all of a sudden there's another life just right there. Without the door opening, there's somebody else in the room. And for me, that's always an amazing experience. But I think this time was even more amazing because I got to witness my daughters seeing that and feeling that, as well as Cecily, and I know that Kaylee's experienced that as well, but Cecily had never experienced that. So just to have that is always like, oh, that's the moment where everything, all the hardness of pregnancy and all the suffering and the pain and the throwing up, it just like washes away. Because they put him in my arms and I put him on my chest. He's here, you can hear him. And it just feels like, I love you. You instantly love that person more than yourself. And he can hear me. He's like, Mom, I know, I was there. It was awesome. So they immediately put him on my chest and they put the towel over and I just held him for 45 minutes. And always afterwards, there's that feeling of like, oh, like your belly's just empty and everything comes out. It's the biggest feeling of relief that you ever feel physically. One thing I noticed that was different with this hospital than previous hospitals that I delivered at is that they like to do skin to skin for 45 minutes. So they wanted to immediately after the baby comes out, put him on my chest and I would hold him for 45 minutes. And I'd never done that before. Usually they take the baby and like put him up on me for like just 30 seconds maybe or less, and then they take the baby, clean him up, do all that stuff, and then wrap him up and give him to me so I can hold him like all bundled up. But I loved it this way. It was so amazing to me to just be able to like instantly take my baby and just hold him. That's why in the vlog, if you see it, I didn't have a hospital gown at that point. I just had a towel so that they could give me the baby. The other amazing thing that I've noticed that happens with each of my deliveries is that I get shaky afterwards. It's almost like that warmth that was inside of me for 9 months has left my body. Even though I'm holding him, I just feel like, oh, shiver. But I think it also has to do with like the traumatizing that your body's like, what just happened? But yeah, I'm like cold and I get shaky afterwards. So it's always good to like get a blanket on me right after I have the baby. Weird things you wouldn't know, right? And I don't know if that happens to everyone or just me, but it definitely happens to me after I have a baby. So little Daxton was born on October 25th at about 2 in the afternoon. He weighed 8 pounds 4 ounces, was my biggest baby by 1 ounce. And it's just beautiful and healthy, and that's what I'm grateful for. I know everyone's like, I don't care what I have as long as he's healthy or she's healthy, but it's true. I'm really grateful for the health of my babies. And so that was my experience. It was beautiful, and if you didn't see the vlog, you can go watch the labor and delivery on the Shea Tards vlog. We'll put a link in the description and on the end slate, so you can go watch that. And now knowing sort of what I was feeling, watch it again, be like, oh, okay. I know if you've never experienced it before, sometimes it's interesting because it can be terrifying. But in my opinion, it's a beautiful, amazing experience that I am so grateful to be able to share with you. And thanks for sticking around with me and being a part of it all. Thanks for being a part of this, you guys. I didn't realize that I had so much to say on this topic, on the labor and delivery, but I do. So I'm going to be giving another update soon with how things have been going since then. So keep comments flowing. If you have any questions, let me know. And I love you guys. I'll see you next time. Bye.